Hello, so I'm David. I'm a freelance video editor in the Philippines, and I'm here to talk about life, video editing, and probably some ADHD stuff. And here are 6 morning routine habits I've been doing for the past 50 days that I think has been helping me at least keep productive and improve my well-being. I don't know about you, but for me, I often have a hard time just getting myself off the bed. Sometimes I just want to scroll through my phone, and oftentimes I do. Just not start work at all. Sometimes I just want to sleep again, oftentimes rather. And yeah, I just don't get anything done. So the first morning routine habit I've been doing is really taking a shower right off when I wake up. But for me, it's mainly waking me up and telling my body, "Oh, you're preparing for the day. You have to wake up." Once I run the water on my head, it wakes me up. It makes me feel just a bit energized. Not too much, but at least it gets me started. If you look online, there are some benefits that you would see. Some say that it would give you this electroshock therapy thing where it just jumpstarts your body and it helps with anxiety. Some say if you do a hot shower, it relaxes you, it relaxes your muscles, it calms you down a bit. But after taking a shower, I really have to, just keep the momentum going. And how I do that is with my second morning routine habit, which is taking a walk. So taking a walk has been one of the most consistent thing I've been doing the past 50 days. There are some days where I don't, because I just end up walking at the later part of the day. I want it in the morning, but I don't get to do it all the time. But I think the ideal is really having a 20-minute walk. And for me, I end up doing around 1.2 kilometers just walking around the village. So that's around 17 minutes. So I have 3 minutes more to be within the ideal time. I remember a picture of two brains, one that took a 20-minute walk and one that didn't. And the one that took a walk was way more activated or had more colors. I don't know what they mean, but it just means it's a good thing. So I tried to take at least 20 minutes of walk, just zone 2, nothing too fast. And one of the benefits is also with sunlight. If there's sunlight, you can just warm up your body. It's with that warming up that you sort of wake up. So it's really good. And I heard this from Andrew Huberman, and also my girlfriend mentioned it to me, that if your eyes are exposed to sunlight, your body clock resets. It basically tells you that, oh, at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m., it's time to sleep. So if you don't expose yourself to sunlight, it'll be sort of hard for you to improve your sleep cycle and make it normal. So the third morning habit I do is eating breakfast. It's pretty basic, right? But if you think about it, not a lot of people eat breakfast these days. Some people skip it. But I think ever since I started taking medication for ADHD, when I skip breakfast, I usually have a bad crash in the afternoon. So this is where I started appreciating the energy that it actually brings. This morning, honestly, I just took cereal, which is bad, which means I'll crash in a bit. But, it's still breakfast. So don't follow what I did. Please do eat some healthy breakfast. Try to have protein in it, some carbs for energy. And I think I keep reading online that complex carbohydrates are the best for you, not just rice or whatever. So yeah, try that out. I've had days where I had healthy food, and honestly, it's been better. Like I realized that I should do it more. So I've been consistently eating breakfast at least for 50 days, but they're not always healthy. So I think that's something I have to add. The fourth thing that I do that I think helps me just get started with work is cleaning up. So at least my workstation is clear and it doesn't bother me. One of the things that I think helped me realize I may have ADHD was whenever I would switch tasks from working to cleaning and not actually get things done. So I realized that maybe by starting it before I work, I could at least remove it from my to-do list within the day. So after I eat breakfast, after I brush my teeth and just get ready, I'll do a quick cleanup just of my desk maybe, and just put things aside. So one of my strategies is really just clustering things in one area. So it's usually on my bed. Then I would put them back on the desk wherever I want them to be. So it's easy for me to sort of decide, oh, where do I put each item or which do I throw away? So yeah, clean up your desk. I think that'll be really helpful for you. For anyone, honestly. A clean desk is a happy desk. So my fifth morning habit is really meditation. This I don't get to do consistently. I would say out of the 50 days, maybe around 40. Yeah, around 40. One of the things I really struggle with is self-compassion. So being kind to myself, which is, sometimes normal for other people, but not really for me. So whenever I don't finish a task on time or according to my standards, I feel like I'm not good enough. I would feel like I'm not doing good enough at work. I would feel like I'm I would label myself as lazy, as incompetent, and all that. After some therapy sessions, I'm learning that no, it's not really me. That's not really something that I should label myself as. Maybe while I was growing up or with some work experiences I had, I sometimes hear it and I internalize it, even if it's not really true. So yeah, meditation and actually sitting down and just telling yourself these kind words or being present in the moment has been really helpful. So for meditation, sometimes I just tell myself to be present at the moment, tell myself that right now the sky is gray because there's a storm, right now there's wind, right now there's construction in the next house. I tell myself what I'm feeling, like verbally say it. I feel like my heart is a bit strong now. My heart is feeling heavy. I'm sweating. So really just being observant in the moment and telling yourself that the world now, both outside and maybe inside, there are some chaotic parts, but there are also some good parts. Even with life in general, even if there are some chaos in my life, there are some good parts. Like one is my privilege to just be staying with my family and not having to pay rent. I contribute to the bills now since I've been working, but it's not the same heaviness as being responsible to pay for rent and everything else. Being thankful for that privilege and being thankful for maybe this time that I just sit down and make a video. Some other things I do are just some simple gratitude exercises, telling myself what I'm grateful for, telling myself to let go of the stress, since being stressed about things won't really get you anywhere. The world won't end if, let's say, my boss hates me and accept things as they are. So I accept the bad things and the good things. Of course, now I'm really composed, I would say, and I can share these easily, but in the moment, it's hard when you're alone and trying to meditate. My bad brain, which is how I describe my bad brain, just comes. And it's hard for me to, most of the time, it's hard for me to put it away. But yeah, meditation is another thing. So just trying to practice self-compassion every day. And for me, I try to change what I do in terms of self-compassion, because sometimes if you do the same practice all the time, it loses its impact. So maybe change your YouTube videos, your YouTube guides every now and then. Okay, so that's the fifth thing that I do. The last thing that I do is really making a to-do list. And I have a small notebook for it, and I just got this from a job fair before I graduated. I've been using it since. So I just make like short lists on my notebook. One of the things I try to do is at least to chunk things down. The main problem with me is I tend to underestimate how long it takes to actually do a thing. So let's say I'm editing a video, I would just say, oh, edit video 1. But if you think about it, editing a video takes 8 hours. Well, for me, it takes 8 hours. So if you have, let's say, 3 videos for the day, I make a list of 3 saying edit 3 videos, and that's like 24 hours. So, that's bad. So what I tend to do is I just tell myself, first step is really just open Premiere Pro, and that lessens the friction of doing the thing. Next is extract the clips that you need to extract. Next is to cut the clips. Next is get stock footage from online and just put it on the clips. And then next, add captions and subtitles. And then last, add the music and sound effects. I'm not a pro editor that does very advanced stuff. I just do simple editing. But if you need a guide, I'll just make another video about it. The tip with to-do lists is to chunk it down. And if, for example, by the end of the day, you don't get to do anything, that's where you need self-compassion again. Because, we can't really predict our energy for the day. Some days we're really good. Some days we're really hyped to do the thing. But on most days, for me, I'm not. So I try to be kind to myself now and tell myself that, oh, this is what I can do. And it's not the end of the world if I don't get to do it. And I'm doing the best I can every day, even if it's a bad day. And honestly, I feel like with you just have to test it out. So for example, if you like habit 1, habit 3, habit 4, just test it out and see if you like it. Because another challenge here is if you feel like it's just another task, it might be hard for you to get started on it. So example for me, doing a morning walk doesn't feel like a task anymore, but making a to-do list feels like a task sometimes. Or even just eating healthily is also a task. That's why sometimes I just eat cereal. So you can just Google some morning habit stuff that might work for you. And honestly, just test it out. You need to find the right fit for you. What works for me won't necessarily work for you. So you'll have to figure it out. It's hard, but that's part of it. And honestly, wala lang. You just have to You just have to start. And with the habits, if for example there are some days where you can't do them, that's totally fine. Like it's not a bad thing. It's not the end of the world. You can be kind to yourself. You can tell yourself, oh, it's just not the day for it. And if you have a tracker, like sometimes you would feel bad that you don't get to do it, but that's it. Like it's just is. So yeah, if you don't get to do it, it's okay. Like there's no problem. So those are my 6 morning habits that help me just get started when I need to do some video editing and other freelance work. If you like this type of content, feel free to like and subscribe. And also let me know in the comments if you have some other things that you want to explore, some other topics that you feel like might be helpful, especially from a beginner's perspective, since I would call myself as a video editing beginner still at this stage. So yeah, I think that's it for this video, and I'll just see you on the next one.